Hey YouTube, this is Royce, your self-help guide, and today we're going to be talking about the Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I chose this book because I feel that it is one of the best self-development books out there, and it is basically Jack Canfield's magnum opus of all the success principles he's learned over the decades and put into one book. It's about 450 pages, so not a short read, but definitely one of those books that you can return back to over a lifetime and it's always going to be relevant. So I highly recommend getting this book, but we're going to be covering it through these videos. I don't know exactly if we're going to be doing it chapter by chapter or if I'm going to be grouping them up, but either way we'll be going through the whole book. It's a fantastic book. So chapter 1 is about taking 100% responsibility for your life. Do you take 100% responsibility for your life? If you're not sure, there are a few questions that I can ask here. So number 1, do you ever blame people or circumstances for the results that you have in your life? Question 2, do you ever complain about the results that you're getting in life or your job or this and that? So if you answered yes to either of those questions, you don't fully take 100% responsibility for your life. Now, I can't say that I take 100% responsibility for my life quite yet. There's still times when I, will slip up and complain and things like that. So nobody's perfect, but trying to eliminate blaming and complaining as much as you can from your life is going to be very good for you. So what he talks about is he learned from the psychotherapist this formula called E plus R equals O. What that means is the event plus your response to that event equals your outcomes in life. So basically you have two choices. Your first choice is to blame the event for the results that you're getting in life. You can blame your spouse, your boss, the economy, the current administration, your race, or your gender. You can blame all those things, but ultimately it's you who is making the choices for your life. You're the one that chose the job, you're the one that chose the spouse that you're with, you're the one that chose the type of food that you're eating. You are making choices every day and not realizing that they lead to your life. The second option is to change your responses to the events until you get the outcome that you want in your life. A lot of people might say, well, I didn't choose to get in a car accident and now I don't have the use of my legs. Well, that was the event. What is your response to that event? You can choose to sulk and be miserable for the rest of your life, or you can choose to have it mean something, and you can definitely still create meaning and joy and prosperity in your life no matter what situation you're in. I mean, look at Helen Keller. She was blind and deaf and still managed to make a huge contribution to the world. She's got an amazing book out there. So what are your excuses? I mean, if Helen Keller can make huge contributions to the world being blind and deaf, what are your excuses? I know probably one of my main excuses is time. Well, I work 50 to 60 hours a week. I've got 3 kids, I've got a family, I've got a house, I've got a yard to take care of. I mean, I don't have time. I don't have time to start a business. But is that true? No, it's not true. It's just an excuse. I mean, it's me blaming something for the results I have in my life. So what are your excuses? Try to figure those out, because once you do, you can start working on them. Because you really only have control over 3 things in your life: the thoughts that you think, the images that you visualize in your head, and the actions that you take. That's it. Those 3 things, what you do with those 3 things, determine the outcome of your life. So next we're going to talk about complaining. So Jack Canfield talks about in the book something that most people would never think about. You would never think about this until it's brought to your attention. So we only complain about things that we can change. I'm going to say that again. We only complain about things that we can change. And you wouldn't think this is true, but think about this. Does anybody ever complain about gravity? I can't believe that this, something fell off the counter. It's like, well, you don't complain about it because it just is. So you literally only complain about things that you can change. So what's the simplest explanation for complaining is knowing that something better exists but not doing anything about it to change it. So you know something's better out there, you're just not willing to put yourself out there to change. And why don't we? Why aren't we willing to do that? Why would we rather just sit there and complain rather than actually doing something that can make our life ultimately way better? And really it's that there's risks. There's the risks of being unemployed if you try to get another job, or that you're not going to be financially sound if you follow your passions, or that you could get rejected if you go after this certain person. You could be looked down upon, you can be judged. So there's different risks attached to actually taking action. And so it's just easier to sit back and complain about it instead of actually going after what we really want in life. You either create or allow everything that happens in your life. You're either making things happen or you're letting things happen to you. So start paying attention to the results that you're getting in life. Do you have the kind of health that you want? How are your energy levels? Do you have the relationship that you want? How are your finances? Is that where you want it? If they're not where you want them to be, instead of complaining about them or blaming someone else for them, figure out what it is exactly you want. If you don't know exactly what it is you want in life, I would say take as much time as you need to really figure it out, to make it concrete. This is what I want. Because without a goal, you're just wandering around aimlessly and hoping that something happens to you. And the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim. So knowing where you want to go and taking little tiny actions to get there. You'd be surprised at how quickly you would actually get there if you just took little tiny actions to get there. So that is the first chapter, taking 100% responsibility for your life. If you like this kind of information, please subscribe to my channel. We're going to have all kinds of new stuff coming out. If you have a comment about what I talked about today, please leave a comment below. I'd love to read those. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.